Hey there, it's Vampad Man 57 here, and what I've got for you today is flying out in the P-47. Right, this thing has become absolutely revolutionary to me just recently. I came across it basically because I've been flying out with my American bombers an awful lot. I've been ranking them up like something chronic at the moment, and what I'm trying to do with this is create the ground attack plane it was in the late war. And this thing throws more bombs downstream than a bloody the A20G, and I absolutely adore it when I found out that it has more bombs than anything else. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of the plane, and then we're going to go into a little bit more depth of how I like to play with it. And let's just get some feedback from you guys. I have a terrible cold at the moment, so I might cough, I might sneeze, and I have a very blocked nose. So let's start off the top. It was an absolutely fantastic plane at the beginning of the war. It was made basically a direct competition against the BF 109s and Spitfires and Hurricanes, as it was created after seeing what they could do to any enemy forces. It was first flown out in one of its early variants. It was first flown out in about 1930, no, 1941, sorry, and it was fully introduced into the Army Air Force in 1946. It served in the Peruvian Air Force all the way to 1966, but that's not really saying much. Sorry, any Peruvians who might be listening. And it was the largest single-engined fighter in the war. It is a massive plane, so hence why it could hold its wonderful bomb load. It was flown out with the U.S. Army Air Force, the Royal Air Force, the French Air Force, and many, many others. Lots of South American, Bolivian, Brazilian, Chilean, the Republic of China used it, and the Soviet Union, of course, used it. And I think the Germans captured a few and used it as well. It became an incredibly formidable ground attack role, especially once the P-51 came in. It almost reverted to almost a total ground attack role. It is a wonderful plane for the fact that it created a its own role in the army, in the Army Air Force. It basically created the fighter bomber in some respects, very much like how the Typhoon did for the Royal Air Force. We then also have the fact that it had 850 cal machine guns on it with armor piercing, so it could do absolute tons of damage to light vehicles, trains, that sort of thing. They often carried frequently 500-pound bombs, and then they had the rockets as well. Thank goodness in War Thunder you could put everything and a Christmas tree on it. It is absolutely packs a punch. So that's pretty much most of its history. It did get a jet kill in World War Two, which is saying a lot for the plane. Um, Especially when the P-51s it came in, it became what was called the Yobos, which was the British and American Air Force ground attackers. That's what the Germans called them. They all called them Yobos, and they were the basically what frightened the Germans the most were these planes coming in close air support, doing incredible amounts of damage. So, sorry, like I said, got cold really bad. I know. What do I like to do with it? Well, currently set up, I've only got the 50 cals on it at the moment because I was really stupid and totally forgot to stick the bombs on. But I've been rocking out with one 500-pound bomb, two 1,000-pound bombs, and then 10 rockets, and that is formidable amount of damage. And what that does create, it creates an opportunity to create loads of alpha damage. This is a brilliant plane to go out and get first strike with. You could go in and destroy 3 to 4 pillboxes in one go, and then mop up all the artillery with your machine guns, because your machine guns make very short work to artillery, howitzers, and all those, and AA guns. The awesome beauty of this thing is it can fight back, which a lot of a lot of bombers can do as well, but it can fight back with some real vengeance. It's not the best dogfighter. It's actually very much a boom and zoom aircraft. It handles somewhat relationally between an elephant, a giraffe, and a donkey, trying to get it to move. Hence why I probably just drowned myself just then, and you don't want to be in a turn fight. Naturally, I enjoy turn fighting. I play a lot of turn fighting with my Japanese and my British, and I go for bomber hunting with the with my Germans, and I don't really play the Russian fighters. I do occasionally, but c'est la vie. This is an absolutely incredible aircraft. At first, I didn't like it. When I first got into it, I just didn't understand it. I didn't want to know about it. I just had it in my lineup so I could fill up my lineup full of bombers, B-25s, B-17s. Now I have the B-24. It actually fits incredibly well in my lineup. It's a rank 3 playing in a rank 4 game with loads of jets, but you can still get that alpha damage off and still get those kills. And it makes it incredibly good plane. It actually, I can't tell you how good of a plane this is, even though I continuously bomb myself and do loads of damage to myself. I normally kill myself in this plane before somebody comes along and kills me, and that is, I suppose, somewhat stupid, but, you know, c'est la vie. I keep forgetting I have 1,000-pound bombs underneath my plane, so I blow myself up all the time. Uh, I I'll have to, basically, I'm gonna go and explain the Alpha Strike premises to you. I've been getting, I think it's called Matchmaker Reward or something like that, where you get the first blow and the final blow. In this plane, it gives you the opportunity to get the first blow every time. You've got um, you got your 50 cals, you got your bombs, and you do have to grind with this for a long time, sadly, to get to the higher levels. But this is my example of Alpha Strike. Get your speed, but try and maintain height. Line up for the bombing run, and hit hard and then run away. Because when you're down there, you're an easy target for enemy fighters. And what you also have to watch out is you don't plummet straight into the ground. And you're thinking, haha, very, very funny, why would I do that? Well, if you watch, you've got loads of speed right now. You got more speed than you can really actually handle in this plane, because it's not very maneuverable, and I just narrowly missed the cliff. I have rammed into that cliff too many times to count, to be quite honest. And what we do have is we have how good this thing is at getting those alpha strikes, and then this thing is better than a bomber in my respect at taking out tank columns. Now, you can get the AA guns easy. You've got rockets that can do damage. Yes, it's very hard to hit rockets. I don't recommend one rocket a tank. I recommend just spamming rockets in the vague direction and dropping bombs at them. I also recommend that you maintain height, which is what I said to you earlier, but I forget my own advice sometimes, and I think that's what you gain advice from learning from your own mistakes. And I bomb my control surfaces off my own bloody plane like an idiot here on my second bomb, because my first bomb's a 500 and my second is a 1,000 pound bomb. I keep forgetting how much damage those things do. This is my last clip about this plane, and I think this is an absolute perfect example on how to play this plane. I I'll, I didn't know if I wanted to go my P-47 or if I wanted to go my B-17 here, because my teammates are all B-17s and fighters, so I was wondering what to do. But I go for it. This is a overwhelmingly good plane. From being the worst fighter, I think, in the entire game, and there's probably people out there who think it's great. I think it's the worst fighter ever. And, the Corsair might be actually worse than this. It doesn't get the bombs. But anyway, so I am gunning after their targets. I am going to try and get as much damage done in a short period of time. My average life in this plane is only about 45 seconds, I swear. It's not long at all. And I'm out there to go do as much damage, and maps like this one and the Pearl Harbor one, Harbor, are absolutely perfect for this plane. Not every situation is perfect for this plane. Domination maps, the bombing on domination maps, this isn't very good at. The destruction that it puts out isn't actually worthwhile, because often the bombing in domination maps are very much closer to the enemy airfields than you actually want to be. You also have the fact that some maps prefer, for example, I can't remember the name. I think it's Fields. Fields makes a very good bombing map for this one. Very much in the old version of the map, and then there's another map which is a field as well, which the name of me is escaping me. It is a ground strike map with no bases on it, and that is got two canyons on each side, and I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. That is actually perfect for bombers, because bombers can fly down those canyons and dealing out loads of damage. Right there was an example of me firing lots of rockets towards the tanks and getting 2 kills, but that's the way it has to be. Sadly, you can't get single rocket kills. They're not accurate enough. Somebody can, I can't. I'm not very good. So my friends here were asking me to help them out, and I was thinking, I'm not exactly the best dogfighter in this thing. I was going to go help him out, and then thought, well, his rear gunners will probably do a better job than I will. So I turn back, I go mop up a couple of more ground strike kills, and then I'll wrap this up. My conclusion on this plane is that until you get the rockets and bombs, it is utterly crap. It is not worth your time, your minutes, your hours, and everything else like that. As a fighter in War Thunder, I don't think it's very good. As a fighter in real life, this thing proved to be absolutely destructive, incredibly destructive. It wasn't as good as the P-51s, but that's why they came in and replaced it, and then it became an incredibly well-strung and good fighter bomber. And in War Thunder, is an incredibly good fighter bomber. So what I'll do is I'll leave you guys at peace. I'm about to die. Have a good one, guys. Adios.